Welcome to the Science and Spirituality Podcast, where we dive deep into universal spiritual principles and ground them in modern science. My name is Chris Carton.
And my name is Kevin Carton. And we are committed to simplifying the spiritual side of success for you with easy to understand scientific research so you can walk away with practical tools to create radical transformations in your life. Let's get started. Today, we're going to be talking about another law of the universe, and a very common one that I think it's gained a lot of traction over the last couple of decades as to be very mainstream even, which is kind of interesting to say. But the law of attraction we're going to be talking about today, and we'll talk about the components of it, but we got a particular question, which is why we're doing this episode. So if you have any questions or have any ideas of what you all wanted us to talk about, then feel free to message us through Instagram just to let us know like what your questions are or what your topics are that of interest. So the question was, how does the law of attraction really work when there are other people involved? Like, can I visualize something for my parents or say manifest a particular person, like not the qualities, but a person in my life? So that's the question. We'll answer that specifically, but I think what we were talking about before recording this episode is to at least break down like the main components of the law of attraction so that we're all on the same page and then answer those questions in particular. So that's what we're about to dive into.
Yeah. And I think you brought up a good point about the law of attraction gaining traction and becoming more and more mainstream.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like as things become more and more mainstream, especially at the rate that the law of attraction did, there's a lot of misconceptions about what it actually is and what it entails. Because I feel like for most people who are just getting introduced to it, if they don't really go deep into the science of it, they really just think that it's creating a vision board. And then just as long as you have it in your mind, like it'll just come.
Yeah.
But there's a whole other piece to the law of attraction, which is the law of vibration, which you did a whole episode on. And it's about visualizing, but then allowing those visualizations to organize how you think and then how you're being in the world so that you can become a different person. So that then you being a different person means that you're going to have different thoughts, different actions, and you're going to do different things out into the world and actually create change in your life.
Exactly.
So there's a big piece that a lot of people miss with the law of attraction, and there's work involved.
Yeah.
Like actual physical action work too.
Yep.
It's just the first part of it is getting your thoughts in order, because you're thinking, your actions follow your thinking.
Yeah, exactly. And I think because there's three particular parts about the law of attraction that everything you just said, Chris, fits into one or more of these three parts. So the three parts of the law of attraction. And if you want to dive deeper into this, I highly recommend you get a book called Working with the Law by Raymond Holliwell. We'll include that in the description for this episode so you could see that in writing. And it's a book on 11 laws of the universe. And one of them is the law of attraction. And so in that book, he describes these three main parts of the law of attraction, which are intention, attention, and expectation. So very quickly, what that means is intention. You must have a clear intention for what you want to attract in your life and be specific about that. So what is it that you want? Like there's a certain dollar amount that you want to attract. There's a certain job or business you want to start. You want to attract the love of your life, or you want to mend or heal or grow a relationship, or certain vibrancy in your health, like certain things you want to attract in your life. You have to have the intention of what it is that you want to attract. So first, the intention. You have to have the clear image, the clear vision in your mind. Then the second part, the attention, is more of the, like what you were talking about, Chris, about having or allowing that the vision of what you visualize to change who you are, so that you're thinking and feeling a different way. So you're changing who you are. So the attention part, the second part of the law of attraction is covering that, where you're working on focusing your attention on what you intend in your life. So that if you intend to increase your income, then you're not putting your attention on the money you owe to someone, like the debts that you have to pay, or the lack of the amount of money you want to have in your bank account. So instead of like looking at your bank account that has, maybe $10,000 in it, but you want $100,000, instead of looking at your bank account and saying like, oh, like I only have $10,000, to then imagine like as if it's already worked out. It's like, oh, I do have the money in my bank account. Then what thoughts would I think? How would I feel? So that's keeping your attention tuned to the reality that you want to create. And then finally, the expectation is what the action steps you're taking is really bridging the gap. So where you're expecting the thing you want to come to you. So if you're expecting it, then what are you doing to actually manifest that? Like if you're expecting an increase in income, then what are you doing differently in your life? If you were expecting that, you're going to be doing things differently if you're fully expecting it to come into your life. So those are the three main components. And I hope I described that well enough so that it's clear. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like you tell me, Chris, like how did that sound?
Yeah, Kev, I think you explained it really well. Like for anyone who doesn't have any background on the law of attraction, I think explaining it as intention, attention, and expectation is a really good way for someone to be introduced to it, for sure. And I guess just switching to part of the question that that the person asked about relationships, and can you use it to attract a person into your life? So just going by my example before about how I view the law of attraction as organizing your thoughts and your feelings around a certain goal, you don't think of like the specific person that you want, like you don't have like a name in mind. Like, oh, if you have a crush, it's like, oh, like I'm gonna law of attract that person into my life. Like that's not how it works.
That's manipulation.
Exactly. And then even using it that way, you're boxing the universe into what you think is best for you almost.
Yeah.
Where it's like if you have this intention of finding the person that you want to be with and you've listed all these qualities, you leave it open for the universe to bring you someone like that. But here's the key when it comes to relationships, I believe, because attracting my partner into my life, Julie, I use these principles.
Yeah.
When you list qualities of the person that you want to be with, the next step is asking yourself, are you being that person that is at the caliber to attract that type of woman or man into your life and then keep them? So like if you say in your little vision that you want someone who is super active and who eats healthy and cooks all their meals and is really like responsible with money and is open to communication and like all of this stuff and loves to travel, like all these things, like are you being that person as well to attract that? Because like if you're just saying all those things in your head, but then you're not going out and acting any differently, the law of attraction is not working because you're not fundamentally changing who you are. And the whole point of the law of attraction is fundamentally changing who you are, how you're vibrating. And then that's how you attract into your life other things. And it's not just from like the metaphysical, like quantum physics perspective where you actually start attracting things, which obviously is a possibility.
Yeah.
You also start to see different, you start to see the world differently. You start to see opportunities that you might have missed when you weren't vibrating at that certain level of thought and feeling as before.
Yeah.
So again, that's why I like to say it's an organizing principle. So you need to have, it's two parts. You gotta imagine, but then you also got to start doing things that are in alignment.
Yeah. Exactly. Because it's very practical in that way. And this is the science of it, is that we attract into our life that which we are. And it's because everything is energy. And the energy that you're generating and emitting out into the universe, out into the world, is your major dominant feelings. It's how you feel. And our thoughts cause our feelings. And so this is the organizing principle, like you said, is like you think aligned with this, like you have the intention, keep your attention and you keep your attention on it, then that's changing your thoughts, which change your feelings. And that feeling then is the energy, the vibration that you're emitting. And then therefore, first off, very practically, is you're going to be doing different things if you're feeling different, if you're emitting a different frequency. And then therefore, on top of that, with, as you mentioned, like the metaphysical and the quantum physics part of it, is that you're then vibrating at that rate. And then you're going to be attracting different things to you, like from ideas, action steps to take, people in your life, opportunities, so many different things are going to be attracted to you because you're emitting that vibration. And so like attracts like in that way.
Yeah.
So it's very practical in that way as well. And to answer the other piece of that question, because I think you covered it very well about attracting like a specific person in your life, is that you're closing down opportunities of what's actually really the best for you in your life that you're just not aware of yet. If you're choosing just one person and not keeping it open to a version, like a person, like in general, of like the qualities that you love, like being specific about that, but not like a person, like it has to be Brad Pitt. But then the other piece about using the law of attraction for someone else like a family member, a friend. In this case, the question was like, can I visualize something for my parents? Is again, it's the organizing principle is what we've been talking about, is that it's not about manipulating or causing something for someone else, but you're changing you and what you're attracting. So yes, you can visualize maybe like your relationship with your parents, but you can never cause someone to change based on like what you want of them. Like they got to want it for themselves. So like you can talk with someone about it's like, hey, like this is what I see for you. Like I would love for you to have a better life. But if they're not wanting it, then that's force. That's manipulation. So you have to really come back to the truth of that we are all the highest authority on our lives, each of us individually. So ask, like talk with someone about it, and then like share your belief in them that like, you want them to have a better life. Then go ahead and go for like visualizing like what your relationship is with that person or those people. But you can never manipulate. You can't, like that's just using the law in a very convoluted way that is like getting you trying to get what you want, but maybe not even the best for you or even others. So it's not about that. It's about you changing you, not about others.
Yeah, you can't do the work for someone else.
Exactly.
But you can change yourself and then use that as an example for other people and then allow them to make their own decisions. Like that's
Exactly.
yeah, you can't use this law to manipulate others.
Yeah.
And I mean honestly it was probably built into the system that way. This
Yeah.
universal system, like to not be able to do that.
Yeah.
Because then like stuff would be crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that answers it pretty well. Like, well, I'll give one more example because I'm thinking about like, our relationship with mom and dad. Like, I don't visualize like them like, okay, like, their, business is growing, like they're healthier. Like I'm just visualizing my relationship with them and that like I'm showing up in the way I want to show up in that relationship with them and like having fun and sharing more about my life and like connecting closer with them. But like they get to have their own life. And in my vision, I'm supporting them in whatever choices they're making. That's
Yeah.
what makes me most happy.
I mean, you can, I guess, like, if you wanted to visualize for someone else, you're free to do that, but don't expect that to change their actions alone. You know what
Yeah,
I mean? It's like, if you want to use that in your own vision to organize your own thoughts and feelings around how you're going to interact with them, then by all means, you can do that because, again, you're changing who you are and how you're
exactly.
feeling, how you're being, but you can't go and do that and expect just the feelings and thoughts alone to change their behavior
Exactly.
without it. Yeah.
It's honestly that's coming. It's like trying to like do something that is not like that is aligned with the law. Actually, that's again like what I was saying before is manipulation. If you're trying to actually like have your visualization of something to actually cause a change within someone else, like that's manipulation. Like who like no one like that's not healthy. It's
Mhm.
not like to try to manipulate someone, even if it's for their own good. Like, it's not like it's yeah like this so different. I feel like there's so much more to say about that, but like it's clear. Like, and I kind of actually I don't even want to go talking about more about like
Yeah.
that. Like
I
just
think we
align with the
answered it
law.
pretty succinctly. Yeah.
Yeah, like align with the law, the way that it actually works, that feels good, and that you take personal responsibility for.
Well, if anyone's listened, this far and wants more instruction on this, because again, we briefly talked about the law of vibration in this episode,
Mm-hmm.
but we did an entire episode on the law of vibration. I think it was one of our first 10, maybe. So you're gonna have to scroll back. I think it was like one of our first ones. Anyway, it's there, the law of
Yeah.
vibration. That's what we called it. And again, that's the fundamental law that's beneath the law of attraction.
Mm-hmm.
So that's like, if you want to get more into the science and into like the practical use of the law of attraction, like you need to know about the law of vibration and start using that. So
Exactly.
if you want to learn more, you can go check out that episode.
Yeah, and I just checked. It was like maybe 8 to 10 episodes ago.
Oh, okay. So I thought it was
The
like
law of
6.
vibration and doing what resonates with you. We recorded it in August. I have a feeling we had another episode similar to that at the
Yeah.
beginning of our podcast, but like that's the more up to date version of it.
Sweet.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, that's what I got about it. The final thing I would love to share is like if you resonate with this, the law of attraction and wanting to apply it in your life, like the first part of it is having the clear intention and keeping your attention on it. And particularly what I've found most helpful, not only for my life, but also in how I help my clients, is having support. Like I have support in my life to apply these principles, apply these laws, so that I'm consistent with having my thoughts and emotions and actions aligned with what I want to create. So if that's something you resonate with and you'd love support in that, then I'd love to offer you a gift. And that's something that I don't often do on this episode, these podcast episodes, but maybe like once a month, I'm getting more regular into it because I want to serve y'all more. So if you found value in this and you want to take this deeper, then I have a gift for you that's called a strategy session. And a strategy session is a full 60-minute call with me where I get to help you get clear about, first off, what you're struggling with in life, like what are the areas of life you want to change. Then second, we'll dive into your vision and I'll help you get clear on what you would love to create in your life so you can actually use the law of attraction to the greatest degree. And then next steps, like I'll help you discover what action steps you could take to move from where you are to where you'd really love to be. And then at the end, if we find we're a good fit to work together, we'll discuss that as well. But this call is a complete gift to you just for being a listener on the podcast. And so if you'd love to take advantage of that and dive into a call with me on that, then this is where it's my gift to you, because usually it's a value of $250, but it's my gift to you today. So if you'd love to have that, then go into the description of this episode and you'll find my email address. And so only if you email me and just put in the description, like podcast episode or like strategy session or the law of attraction, strategy session, then I'd be happy to gift that to you. And I usually have about 4 or 5 spots a week and they fill up fast. So if you would love to have that strategy session, it's my gift to you, then go ahead and email me as soon as you can. And I'd be happy to give you that session. And that's it. So I hope you found value in this episode. And wait, what'd you say, Chris?
I said, get on it.
Yeah.
Email him.
Perfect. All right, y'all. We'll talk with you in another episode. And that's it for today. So thanks for tuning in. And we really hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as we enjoyed recording it. So any questions, any comments, just connect with us on Instagram. You could always DM us at Kevin Francis Carton
and at Chris J. Carton. And also, if you feel guided to, the one thing we do ask is for you to please rate the podcast and leave us a review. This way we can reach more people and impact more lives with this amazing information. With that, we'll see you on the next episode.